My sister tried to send me to a ward for combat trauma, not because she was worried about me, not because she wanted to help me heal, because she wanted something that belonged to me, my trust fund. And she thought if she could convince everyone I wasn't stable enough to manage my own life, she could take control. But she made one mistake. She underestimated me. My name is James Carter, and the day my sister tried to take away my freedom was the day she lost control of the entire story. For most of my life, my sister Rachel was the person everyone believed. She was charming, kind, always knew exactly what to say. To strangers, she was the perfect daughter, the perfect sister. But behind closed doors, things were different. Rachel always compared our lives. When I joined the military, she said I was running away. When I came home after deployment, she said I was different. She never asked what I had experienced, never asked what I carried with me. She just decided she knew. My grandfather created a trust fund for me years before he passed away. It wasn't just money. It was his way of making sure I had stability after everything I had sacrificed. The trust had one important rule. Only I could manage it unless a court determined I was unable to do so. My grandfather knew something about people. He knew money could change relationships. He wanted me protected. At the time, I never thought I would need that protection from my own family. After I returned from deployment, I focused on rebuilding my life. Some days were difficult. Some memories were heavy, but I was working through them. I had doctors. I had support. I was moving forward. But Rachel saw something else, an opportunity. She started telling relatives that I wasn't myself anymore. He needs more help, she would say. I don't think he can make decisions alone. At first, I ignored it. I thought she was just being dramatic. I was wrong. One morning, I received a phone call from someone I didn't know, a medical facility. They wanted to discuss my treatment options. I was confused. I didn't request any appointment, I said. The woman on the phone paused. Your sister contacted us. My stomach tightened. My sister. She expressed concerns about your mental health and safety. I sat there silently because suddenly everything made sense. I called Rachel immediately. She answered like she was expecting me. James, she said calmly, we need to talk. What did you do? I asked. A pause. Then she sighed. I'm trying to help you. No, I replied. You're trying to control me. Her voice changed. You don't understand what you're going through. That sentence bothered me because it wasn't concern. It was judgment. You don't get to decide that I'm incapable just because you don't like my choices, I said. She became quiet. Then came the real reason. You know the trust requires someone responsible if you can't manage things. There it was, the truth, hidden behind fake concern. You want access to my trust, I said. She immediately denied it. That's ridiculous. But her silence lasted too long, and silence says a lot. That night, I sat in my living room looking through old documents. My grandfather's handwriting was still on one of the papers, a note he left with the trust agreement. Protect what you built, and be careful of those who only appear when there is something to gain. I read that sentence again and again, because somehow he had seen this coming. The next morning, Rachel showed up at my house. She wasn't alone. She brought a relative who always agreed with her. They stood at my door with serious expressions. "We're worried about you," Rachel said. I looked at them. "I'm fine." She shook her head. "You don't realize you're not okay." I almost couldn't believe what I was hearing. The person trying to remove my choices was telling me I couldn't make choices. "I think you need professional help," she said. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out paperwork. My name was written across the top. I looked closer. It was an evaluation request, a request that could eventually affect my ability to control my own finances. For a moment, I said nothing, because I couldn't believe she had actually done it. My own sister, the person who shared my childhood, was trying to take my future. Rachel looked confident. She thought she had already won. She thought I would panic. She thought I would surrender. But what she didn't know was that I had already started protecting myself. Weeks earlier, after noticing her behavior, I had spoken with someone who understood exactly what was happening. Someone who knew the law. Someone who knew how to protect my rights. I reached into my desk drawer, pulled out a folder, and placed it on the table. Rachel frowned. "What is that?" I looked at her calmly. "Something you should have considered before trying this." Her expression changed, because for the first time, she realized I wasn't confused. I wasn't powerless, and I wasn't alone. I opened the folder, and the truth inside was about to change everything. Rachel stared at the folder on the table. For the first time that day, she looked uncertain. "What is that?" she asked again. I didn't answer immediately, because I wanted her to understand something. This wasn't about revenge. It was about protecting myself. I opened the folder slowly. Inside were copies of my trust documents, communication records, and notes from my attorney. Rachel's expression changed. "You hired a lawyer?" I nodded. "After you started making decisions about my life without asking me." She looked offended. "I was trying to help you." I looked at her. "No, you were trying to control a situation you created." The room became quiet. My cousin looked uncomfortable, because the story Rachel had told them didn't match what they were seeing. A few days later, my attorney contacted the people involved with the evaluation request. He explained everything clearly: my medical records, my treatment progress, my ability to manage my own decisions. The facts, not assumptions, not rumors, not my sister's opinions. Facts. And that made all the difference. Rachel had expected everyone to believe her. She thought saying, "I'm worried about him," would be enough. But concern and control are not the same thing. The people reviewing the situation started asking questions. Important questions